What's up, YouTube? Doing a video of another bike that I purchased a few weeks ago. This is a 1997 Suzuki RM250. And this is a bike that has actually been on my radar for several years. I've just checked the market from time to time looking for anything that seemed to fit my standards and the price range and distance and all that stuff. And for a while these bikes were kind of a dime a dozen. They weren't, I don't think, that popular. Maybe when this style came out in '96 they were kind of a hit, but quickly people figured out that they just weren't that fast. I mean, they're fast, don't get me wrong, but in a drag race I think they were probably the slowest of the bunch. Plus, for a few years they had these kind of odd conventional forks on the front end that are 49mm twin chamber Showas, which, I mean, think about 49mm back in '96. That is a beefy fork, very well built fork, but I don't think people liked them as well as the inverted forks. And just, my impression of them, they're good, but they feel different. It's like the way they carry the weight. I've never really felt forks flexing around, but I would assume that's kind of what I'm feeling with these. But anyway, this was the first real motocross bike that I had when I was a kid. I grew up riding when I was like 10 years old, and I rode a variety of trail bikes, but they were mostly like XRs. And when I was 22 years old, I had a chance to scoop up one of these, and it was a friend of a friend. He had bought it new. It was a 3-year-old bike, and he actually sold it to one of my other buddies, and immediately he did not like it. He just did not get along with the two-stroke power. So he flipped it over to me, and I just fell in love with the thing. I mean, if you like two-stroke power, this is like got that quintessential two-stroke punch right in the mid-range, which makes it super exciting to ride, but a little tricky to ride fast. If you're chasing your buddies around in the woods, it's kind of frustrating to keep it pointed in the right direction. And I'll be honest, I don't know if there's a whole lot of mods that really tame that down. I've noticed the biggest thing you can do is adjust the power valve on one of these dials. I can't remember which one. I think it may be this one. And you can crank the tension down on that spring so that it doesn't flip the power valves open so fast. Long story short, I loved riding this bike. I had it from 2000 to 2004, and through the years I've specifically been looking for 97s again, and this one popped up. The guy was pretty stuck on 1800, and everybody's gone a little crazy with the prices of dirt bikes, the prices of cars. I guess inflation has fully kicked in. And I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, this was a $1,400 bike. Just because, I mean, the thing is old, And like I said, they weren't really sought after. They made a lot of them. So my instinct was to wait for something else. But then I thought, this is a 25-year-old bike. And I think it's kind of getting to the point where you're probably not going to see any, you're not going to see many in this kind of condition. And so what I liked about this one is that's the original seat cover. People that know me know that there's something about original seat covers. I think that tells a lot about how a bike was treated. It's got one little teeny rip right there. It's like a puncture, but it doesn't look like it's spreading. And I think these are the original fenders, but obviously not the original radiator shrouds or number plates. I like that it's got the stock pipe and the stock silencer. The pipe needs some help, but the silencer is pretty nice. It doesn't look like it's been that modified. You know, the carb, the shock, everything looks like it would have been. The radiators, you know, there's the original grills in there, if you can see. And the radiators are not as beat up as they should be. You know, these are pretty fragile. So I think that this bike has had a pretty decent life. And like I said, even if it's worth a little bit less, what am I going to do? Wait around for a few more years? See if I can scoop something up that's hopefully a few hundred less? I mean, it just didn't make sense. So, my plan is to get the white number plates back on it, get the purple shrouds. I got some extra parts with the bike. I got a, you know, extra filter and extra pipe and silencer. You know, that's the original triangle stand the Suzuki would have had. Just kind of neat that it still exists. Yeah, I haven't done anything with this bike for about 4 weeks, but I will try to fire it up and see if it'll start. So this may be a 1 kicker, maybe a 20 kicker, not quite sure. So let's see what happens. Sweet bike, huh? There we go. that's it. After sitting for a month, I think it sounds pretty good. Sounds a little bit fat, maybe lean out the jetting, go through and change the fluids, put a new air filter in it, and yeah, otherwise hopefully it's a good bike that you can ride. So thanks for sticking around for this video, and I'll catch you later. Peace.